Good morning, students. In the previous video, we completed the first chapter of French Revolution, and today we are going to discuss about the first chapter of Geography, India, size and location. Children, when we talk about India, so it is must to look after in the past. If I look in the past of history, I'm always getting some of the glory. See, India, ancient civilization, it has shown that always we were and we are on the path of progress. If I look towards my history, India's history says that we have shown the drastic development in the field of agriculture, technology, and industry. And because of these sectors develop, today we are economically strong. We are able to see that our economical development is because of that we focused on industry, agriculture, and technology. This is what one very important that we should have to know, that India never give up. India is the one who always on the path of progress. Why? How we have developed, how we developed in the field of agriculture, how we developed in the field of industry, and this is what the technologically how we have developed. We will look after this everything by the location of India. Children, do you know the location of India is so important, and you can't believe it. Because of India's location only, we are able to connect with the different countries through the land and waterway, and obviously through the airway too. When we will talk about India's location, you should have to know some of the basic points. That is, before looking after the location of India, it's very important that where is India in our globe. If you see our globe is divided into the hemisphere, like northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, which is divided with the help of one imaginary line, that is equator. And we are able to see that longitude extend, which divides our globe, our earth, into western and eastern hemisphere. When I'll see the map, you just look in your book, the map figure 1.1, you are able to see that India's location according to the globe, it comes in northern hemisphere, and northern hemisphere we are able to see that it's in between of north and east. Because of that, we are able to look after the extent of India. As I told you, India lies entirely in the northern hemisphere. The mainland extends. See children, it's very important to look after when we will talk about the location of India, how we will rectify it. So with the help of longitude and latitude. The question comes, what is longitude and latitude? See children, the longitudes are the vertical lines on our globe, whereas the latitudes are the horizontal lines which are present on the globe. These lines are very important to look after the proper location of any place. These longitude and latitudes has some of the numbers which are represented in the form of degree. We are going to look after this only with the help of latitude and longitude. We'll look after the India's location. India's location, if I'll see, we are able to see that the latitudes. See children, latitudes, it means I told you horizontal lines. So latitude 8 degree 4 minutes north and 37 degree 6 minutes north. So in this regard, north side we are able to see this north side extent of this latitudes. This means that India lies in northern hemisphere. The next extents let you the longitude lines. Longitude lines will help you to look after 68 degree 7 minutes east and 97 degree 25 minutes east. With the help of this longitude and latitude lines, we are able to find out the exact location of India. One more important thing is there that in India, very important one imaginary line, that is Tropic of Cancer, which lies as according to the latitude of 23 degree 30 minutes north, which is passing from our India. And with the help of this, we are able to see the Tropic of Cancer. It divides our country into almost half. Almost half in the sense north and south. We are able to see that in Arabian Sea and in Bay of Bengal, there are the islands like Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands. Where we are looking towards the India's location, let's look towards that the size. Go with the size. It means that India covers 3.28 million square kilometer, which is very vast extension of India. India totals area. Now this is what I told you, that 3.28 million square kilometer area. It is what the India covered the land. But if I'll compare with the whole world land, in that regard, 2.4% of total geographical land covered by India. So according to this, if I'll compare the largest countries, so largest country in that, India's position is 7. So which 7 countries are there? Like first is Russia, which covers 17.09 million square kilometer. After Russia, Canada is there, 9.98 million square kilometer. After Canada, USA, 9.83 million square kilometer. China, 9.60 million square kilometer. Brazil, 8.51. Australia, 7.69, and whereas I told you India covers the land 3.28 million square kilometer. You are able to see in the map figure 1.2, which shows you 7 largest country of the world. Come back to the point of India now. If I'll see the India has the boundary of land towards the northern side and water boundaries, means the coastal lines, towards the southern side. If you will look after this, the land boundary is about 15,200 kilometer, whereas we are able to see that the coastal line of mainland, which is including Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, it is equals to 7,516.6 kilometer. So this is very important. Second thing, very important thing is that I'll let you about it, the northern part of India. Northern part of India is covered with the young mountains, and these young mountains are very important for us, which is very important to maintain our climatical conditions of India. I'll tell you that our Himalaya, the young mountains which are there to the northeast, it's helpful to stop the cold wind from Asia should not enter in India. The India's location is so important and so significant that it is always helpful for us. It is always protecting us, the land, from the land boundaries, even though from the coastal regions. Now we'll look after the figure 1.3, where we'll look after this, that India's extent from east to west is 2,933 kilometer, whereas we are able to see it's from north to south extent is 3,214 kilometers. But if you will see that, it looks that the west and east extent looks smaller than the south and north extent. But if you will go according to the degree, it covers almost 29 degree. 29 degree it covers, it means that it is equal only. But if you will look after the image, you will think that the west east extension looks smaller than the north south extent. Now as I told you, it takes 29 degree. 29 degree, let's discuss about it, about the degrees. 360 degrees, to cover up the 360 degrees, it takes 24 hours. Whereas to go with the 15 degrees, it takes 60 minutes. And 60 minutes when it takes, it means that here we are talking about 15 degrees. 15 degrees, it takes time 60 minutes. So what about 30 degree? 30 degree, which I told you, the almost 29 degree percent difference is there from west to east extreme. So if I'll go with the India's time, it shows me the time difference of 2 hours. But it's not in India like this. If you go towards the Gujarat or you go towards the Arunachal Pradesh, we are able to see the same time. Why this is so? As there is a difference of the degree, I told you 30 degree difference is there, it means there should be the time difference of 2 hours. But to look after this, that we should not create any confusion in the time in our India, so it's what we did it, we followed one of the very important longitude line, that is standard meridian. It's a standard meridian. Why it is standard meridian and why this only is selected as standard meridian? This standard meridian is passing from 82 degree 30 minutes east. Why this is? Because this is what the standard meridian, which is making our west to east extent in equal half, which we are able to see that this is the line which is passing from 82 degree 30 minutes east. This is the exact half of our India's east-west extent. So it's very helpful to go with this. According to this standard of meridians, we are now not facing any confusions about the time. As I told you, if we will not follow this, we will get the confusion of 2 hours from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. But as we are following this standard meridian, which is very helpful for our time, this is what we are able to see. There is no confusion and no difference from the Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. We are able to see this is explained in the paragraph. Now latitudinal extent influences the duration of day and night as one moves from south to north. See, find out some of the questions which is asked to you, that why 82 degree 30 minute east is only the standard meridian. I told you this is what the exact midpoint of west to east direction, and which is very helpful to go with the standard time of India. Second thing, it is asking that why is the difference between the duration of the day and night hardly felt at Kanyakumari but not as in the Kashmir? As I told you that the place which is very close to equator does not feel the difference of day and night. So if you will look after, the Kanyakumari is very closer to the equator, but the Kashmir is very far away from the equator. So we are able to see that the Kanyakumari won't be able to feel the difference of day and night, whereas Kashmir is. Now this is what we talked about, the location, then we talked about the size. Now we'll look after the India and the world. As I told you, India's location is so significant that we are connected. We are connected with the different continents. The Indian landmass has a central location between East and West Asia. India is the southward extension Asian continent. The Trans-Indian Ocean routes, which connects the country of Europe in west and the countries of Asia, East Asia, provides a strategical central location to India. Note, our Deccan Plateau, which is protrudes towards the Indian Ocean, which is very helpful to make a close contact with the West Asia, Africa, Europe from the western coast, and the Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. No other country as India has, and indeed it is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean, and because of that, the Indian Ocean's name is given, followed by the India. No other country is there which has as equal to India is covering the coastal regions in our Indian Ocean, in the Indian Ocean. Children, one more important thing I'll let you, do you know about it, that since the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, India's distance from Europe has been reduced by 7,000 kilometers. Why it's showing? Because before to do the trade with Europe, Asia should have to cross Indian Ocean, from there to Atlantic, and from Africa then we do the trade with the Europe. But because of the Suez Canal, which was built in the year 1869, it reduces the distance and we are directly to the land, we are connected with the Europe. It means Asia is connected with the Europe through this Suez Canal, which is built in 1869, which is 7,000 kilometers. Now, when we talk about that, when we are connected with the other countries, what we did it? We only did the trade? No. We did the trade. Our older history says that we were connected to the landmass. But later, as the progress we have seen, we are connected with the different countries through the land, water and airways. What we did it from last to till now, we are the one while doing the trade, we followed many things. We did it, we exchanged ideas with the other countries, we followed our some of the important things we share with them. Like these routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities since the ancient times. The idea of Upanishad and the Ramayana, the story of Panchatantra, the Indian numerals and decimal system. This could reach many parts of the world. The spices, muslin, the other merchandise were taken from India to different countries. So, and not only this, that India has introduced this thing to other countries, we also followed the making of buildings or construction as according to dome and minarets. We are able to see that from West Asia can be seen in our different parts of the country. Some of the important historical places we are able to see the buildings are in the form of dome or in the form of minarets. This is what India, we talked about India, we discussed about how India is connected with the other countries, what is the size of India. Now, very important thing now to look after the India's neighboring country. So we were talking about India's neighboring countries. According to this, that India occupies an important strategical position in South Asia. Children, just do one correction in your textbook, that now 28 states are there and 8 union territories are there. India, which shares the land boundary with other countries like this, are Northwest, Pakistan and Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan in north, and Myanmar and Bangladesh in east. Our southern neighbors across the sea, that is consisted of two island countries, namely Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka is the one which is separated from India with a narrow channel of sea which is formed by Palk Strait and Gulf of Mannar, while the Maldives Islands are situated in the south of Lakshadweep Islands. If you see the India's location, geographically, it's very helpful to India to come up with all the problems, and because of that, we are able to see the progress graph of India from ancient till modern. It's just in the form of increasing order. It's just going up. It means that India's geographical condition is very, very significant to us. Children, do you know, before 1947, there were two type of states in India. The provision which was ruled by Britishes and the regions which was ruled by kings. Britishes at that time, they don't want that anyone called as king. So the places which was before it was called as king and kingdom, that was during the colonial period, it was called as prince and princely states. And the rest of the part which was ruled by Britishes, that was under the viceroy, we are able to see that these were called as provinces. So India was divided, it before 1947 it was divided into provinces and princely states. Provinces which was under control of Britishes and the princely states which was under control by the princes. Hope you have understood this chapter. We'll continue. Thank you.